Did you know that some nickels can be worth thousands of dollars? These small coins are hiding secrets that could make you a fortune. Welcome to the channel. Today we're counting down the top 5 most valuable Jefferson nickels, and you won't believe which ones are worth the most. Stick around till the end to see which one takes the top spot. Let's start with top 1 nickel. In the early 1980s, the United States was undergoing an era of significant transformation. Politically, socially, and culturally, the country was adapting to new shifts in technology, fashion, and global dynamics. But among the many facets of American life that were changing, one constant remained: the 5-cent coin, commonly known as the nickel. While it may have seemed like just another coin in everyday transactions, the 1983 nickel held something special, an elusive quality that would make it highly sought after by collectors and numismatists alike. The year 1983 might not have seemed like a milestone year for American coinage, yet it was. The decade before, the U.S. Mint had already made waves by altering some of the nation's most iconic coins. By 1982, the U.S. Mint had switched the composition of the penny from mostly copper to a predominantly zinc-based alloy, partly due to rising metal prices. This shift was felt across the board as the cost of materials became a growing concern. And while the 5-cent coin or nickel wasn't the first to be affected by these changes, it would soon see some interesting alterations of its OW. To understand the 1983 nickel, we need to go back a little further and examine the design that defined it, the classic Jefferson nickel. First minted in 1938, the Jefferson nickel was introduced as a replacement for the older Buffalo nickel, which had been in circulation since 1913. Designed by artist Felix Schlag, the obverse of the Jefferson nickel features a portrait of the third U.S. President, Thomas Jefferson. This image has remained largely unchanged throughout the years, preserving Jefferson's likeness in various renditions, capturing the essence of the man behind the Louisiana Purchase and the Declaration of Independence. The reverse of the coin was originally designed by Schlag as well. It featured an image of Monticello, Jefferson's iconic home in Virginia. This simple yet elegant design symbolized Jefferson's vision of democracy and the American frontier. Over the decades, both the obverse and reverse designs have undergone slight changes, but the fundamental symbolism of the coin remained intact. Now, let's jump forward to 1983. By this time, the United States had already seen various iterations of the Jefferson nickel. The minting process had evolved, and there were concerns about the rising cost of materials, as well as the practicalities of keeping up with the ever-changing economy. Unlike the earlier designs, the 1983 nickel would be minted at 3 different locations: the Philadelphia Mint, the Denver Mint, and the San Francisco Mint. These locations would play a significant role in shaping the variety and rarity of the 1983 coin. But what made the 1983 nickel special? At first glance, the nickel appeared to be the same as any other. The same Jefferson portrait, the same Monticello on the reverse. But it was the subtle differences that would soon capture the attention of collectors and investors. As with many coins, small variations in the minting process could lead to incredibly rare and valuable items. A small minting error or an accidental change could result in a coin that was a true anomaly, a rarity that numismatists would treasure for years to come. It wasn't long before the 1983 nickel was found to have a small number of errors that made it particularly valuable. One of the most notable errors was a case of what's called a double die, which meant that the design was unintentionally struck more than once. In some instances, the doubling effect could be seen in Jefferson's eye or in the letters on the coin. This subtle, yet significant flaw caused certain 1983 nickels to be placed in a class of their own, immediately capturing the attention of collectors who knew the value of a rare minting anomaly. But what made this particular coin even more remarkable wasn't just the error. It was the rarity of the error. Unlike common minting errors, the double die found on the 1983 nickel was so rare that many believed only a handful of these coins had made it into circulation. This rarity, combined with the historical significance of the coin's design and the interest of collectors, would lead to a dramatic increase in its value as the years went on. As we entered the 21st century, collectors and numismatists began scouring the market for these elusive 1983 nickels. As with any rare coin, the value grew steadily over time as demand outstripped supply. The coins were initially found in everyday pockets, change jars, and cash registers across the United States. But it wasn't long before word got out that the 1983 nickel could be worth far more than its original 5-cent face value. Now, you might be wondering, just how valuable can a 5-cent coin from 1983 be? At first, a few collectors were paying a few dollars for the rarer specimens with minting errors. But the true value of this coin would only become apparent after decades of research, evaluation, and careful cataloging. It was in the mid-2000s that numismatists began to seriously examine the 1983 nickels and place them in their rightful category of high-value collectibles. As more and more collectors learned about the double die error and the coin scarcity, they started paying higher prices to get their hands on these rare pieces of American history. But here's where the story gets really interesting. In 2015, a 1983 nickel with the double die error was auctioned off for a whopping $105,000. Yes, you heard that right. A 5-cent coin that was originally worth just 5 cents was now valued at over $100,000. This astonishing price came as a result of intense bidding among collectors who recognized the rarity and historical significance of the coin. The 1983 nickel had gone from a humble, everyday piece of currency to a symbol of the fascinating world of coin collecting, where rare errors and historical significance can turn even the most unassuming items into priceless treasures. What makes this story even more captivating is the journey of the 1983 nickel itself. It wasn't just a rare find, it was a testament to the evolving world of numismatics and the impact that small errors or differences in minting can have on a coin's value. A single, seemingly insignificant flaw could turn an ordinary nickel into an extraordinary collector's item. Collectors and investors continue to scour the market for these elusive 1983 nickels, hoping to find one that has escaped the notice of others. Whether hidden in an old coin jar, sitting forgotten in a drawer, or tucked away in a collection, these rare coins remain an enduring symbol of the fascinating world of numismatics, where the story behind each coin can make all the difference. And so, the tale of the 1983 nickel continues to captivate the imaginations of collectors and history enthusiasts alike. It's a reminder that, in the world of coins, even the most common items can hide extraordinary stories. Whether you're a seasoned collector or someone just starting to explore the world of numismatics, the story of the 1983 nickel is one that will leave you with a greater appreciation for the value of every coin in your pocket. As we wrap up this journey through the history, design, and allure of the 1983 nickel, we're reminded of just how unpredictable and fascinating the world of coin collecting can be. And the next time you reach into your pocket to grab some change, take a moment to wonder, could the next nickel you come across be worth a small fortune? For those of you out there with a keen eye for rare coins, the 1983 nickel serves as a reminder that even the smallest details can carry immense value. You never know what treasures might be hidden in plain sight. And that is the captivating story of the 1983 5-cent coin, a seemingly ordinary nickel that went on to achieve extraordinary value, earning a place in the hearts of collectors and setting the stage for future coin enthusiasts to continue the search for their own hidden gems. It's a crisp autumn morning in 1994. In the United States, the country is riding a wave of economic optimism, and the world is changing rapidly. Technology is evolving. Pop culture is buzzing with hits from movies, music, and TV, and the daily grind continues with coins exchanged in every corner of society. Among the many denominations of coins circulating in American pockets, there's one particular coin that would go on to capture the attention of collectors for decades to come: the 1994 USA 5-cent coin, or more commonly known as the nickel. At first glance, the 1994 nickel might seem just like any other. After all, the design on the coin hasn't changed much in decades. But lurking beneath its familiar surface is a coin that, for those in the know, is more than just a humble 5-cent piece. It's a symbol of both American history and the quirky world of coin collecting. The 1994 nickel has its own unique place in the story of U.S. currency. It was part of an era that stood at the crossroads of technological progress and cultural shifts. The story of the 1994 nickel starts, as many stories of American coinage do, with Thomas Jefferson. Jefferson's likeness has been immortalized on the nickel ever since 1938, and the 1994 version follows in this grand tradition. The design is simple but meaningful. The obverse side features a well-known portrait of Jefferson, created by artist Felix Schlag. Jefferson, the third president of the United States, is shown in profile, looking forward with a stern yet dignified expression. He was a man of many achievements, but his role in the founding of the nation is the reason his image is so ingrained in American culture. On the reverse side of the coin, we find Monticello, Jefferson's home in Virginia, depicted as the central feature. The building is elegant in its simplicity, a testament to Jefferson's classical architectural tastes. This image has also remained largely unchanged since the coin was first introduced, serving as a permanent reminder of Jefferson's contributions to American society. Now, let's fast forward to 1994. It's a year marked by a sense of change. Changes in technology, in politics, and even in the world of coinage. While the Jefferson Nickel still bore its classic design, the U.S. Mint was experiencing a period of transition in how coins were being manufactured and circulated. The process of minting had evolved significantly, but the 5-cent coin remained a staple in the daily economy. The coin's composition in 1994 was made up of a mixture of 75% copper and 25% nickel, a formula that had been in place for years. While the U.S. Mint had experimented with different alloys in previous decades, the nickel remained one of the more consistent coins in terms of its metal content. It weighed in at 5 grams and retained its standard dimensions, 21.21 millimeters in diameter and 1.95 millimeters in thickness. To the average person, this coin didn't feel any different than its predecessors, and why would it? It had become part of the routine, a coin used in everything from buying a candy bar at the corner store to paying for a bus ride across town. But for coin collectors, it was a different story. The world of numismatics is full of surprises, with rare and valuable coins often hiding in plain sight. The 1994 nickel, while not immediately seen as rare, would soon become a sought-after piece for collectors. It wasn't because the coin itself had some unusual or groundbreaking design. It was because, as is often the case with coins, small errors in the minting process could turn a seemingly ordinary piece of currency into a treasure. Now, you might be wondering what could make a 5-cent coin from 1994 stand out. Surely, it's just another year, another typical nickel, right? Well, for those with a trained eye, the 1994 nickel became valuable for reasons beyond its usual design. In the years that followed its release, certain 1994 nickels were found to have subtle yet significant errors that, when discovered, made them worth far more than their face value. The most notable error, which would later become the focal point of collector interest, was a misalignment issue with the coin's die. In numismatic terms, this is called a die error. It occurs when the die, which is used to strike the coin's design onto the blank metal planchet, is misaligned during the minting process. This small mistake could create a coin with an uneven or off-center design, something that immediately piqued the interest of collectors. But it wasn't just the misalignment that made the 1994 nickel special. As collectors scoured through their change, they began to notice other subtle imperfections, including doubling in the lettering or variations in the details of Jefferson's portrait. These errors, though rare, meant that the 1994 nickel wasn't like any other coin from that era. It had something unique, a flaw that was not only fascinating but incredibly valuable. Now, you might be wondering what exactly makes a coin like this worth more than its face value. The answer lies in the rarity of the error. as well as the growing demand among collectors for coins with unique characteristics. As the numismatic community became aware of the 1994 nickel's potential, collectors began seeking out these misprinted coins. What had once been a simple, everyday coin now became a hot commodity on the market. But how much would a 1994 nickel with a die error actually sell for? Initially, these coins might have been worth only a few dollars above face value. After all, the minting error itself was relatively minor. However, as time went on and collectors began to pay more attention to this particular issue, the value of these coins began to climb. By the early 2000s, the 1994 nickel with a die error had become a sought-after item, with some specimens selling for hundreds of dollars. Still, it wasn't until a particularly rare example of the 1994 nickel was found that its value skyrocketed in 2014. A 1994 nickel with an especially dramatic die error was sold at auction for an astounding $82,000. This particular coin had a visible and unmistakable doubling effect on the lettering and elements of Jefferson's image, making it one of the most striking examples of this error. The rarity of such a well-preserved coin, combined with the intensity of collector interest, led to a bidding frenzy. And just like that, a 5-cent piece from 1994, once an everyday coin, had turned into a staggering $82,000 prize. For those who are fortunate enough to find one of these rare misprinted nickels, it's a moment of discovery and excitement. A seemingly ordinary coin could now be worth more than a house or a luxury car. It's a testament to the fascinating world of coin collecting, where even small errors can lead to big rewards. But the 1994 nickel isn't just about monetary value. It's a symbol of the unpredictable nature of coin collecting. It's a reminder that a seemingly simple piece of currency can hold a wealth of history, mistakes, and stories waiting to be uncovered. It also showcases the dedication of collectors, who spend years meticulously searching for rare and valuable coins. They know that in the world of numismatics, even the most common-looking coins can turn out to be something extraordinary. So, the next time you reach into your pocket or open up your coin jar, take a second to look at the nickels you find. You might just have a rare and valuable 1994 coin sitting in your hand, one that could be worth a small fortune. And even if it's not, it's a reminder that sometimes the smallest things in life can surprise you in the most incredible ways. And that's the story of the 1994 nickel. A simple coin that, through a stroke of luck, turned into an extraordinary collector's item. From its humble beginnings in the pockets of everyday Americans to its impressive $82,000 auction price, this little coin has come to symbolize the fascinating world of numismatics, where history, artistry, and chance collide to create something truly valuable. Now, let's move on and discuss the top 3 nickel that every collector should know about. In the world of coin collecting, there are certain coins that capture the imagination and attention of collectors for years to come. One such coin is the 2007 USA 5-cent piece, commonly known as the nickel. On the surface, it seems like just another nickel circulating as change, often tossed into jars or spent without a second thought. But in the realm of numismatics, this seemingly ordinary coin has a fascinating story to tell. This is a tale of design evolution, minting errors, and a discovery that turned a simple 5-cent coin into a valuable collector's item. So, what makes the 2007 nickel so special? Let's step back to the year 2007. The U.S. Mint was in the midst of transitioning coin designs, celebrating America's rich history and innovation. Though the obverse of the 2007 nickel featured the same familiar image of Thomas Jefferson, the third president of the United States, the reverse side held something new. A design that had undergone significant change just a few years earlier in 2004, the U.S. Mint had introduced the Westward Journey series, commemorating the Lewis and Clark expedition and the exploration of the American West. The reverse side of the nickel was redesigned to feature a depiction of a keelboat, a type of vessel that was used by Lewis and Clark during their journey. While this was a significant departure from the traditional Monticello design, the 2007 coin marked the 4th year of this design, keeping the same imagery that had captured the essence of America's pioneering spirit. The 2007 nickel was, in many ways, just another year for this redesigned series. The coin still had the same weight, 5 grams, and it was still made of 75% copper and 25% nickel. In fact, most people who held a 2007 nickel probably didn't think twice about it. It circulated widely in daily transactions just like every other nickel before it. And yet, in the vast sea of nickels produced, there was something hiding beneath the surface. A small but notable detail would turn this ordinary 5-cent coin into something extraordinary for collectors. As is often the case in numismatics. It's the subtle changes that can make all the difference. For those who closely examined the reverse of the 2007 nickel, there was one element that stood out: the depiction of the steps leading up to Monticello, Jefferson's Virginia estate. Monticello had been featured on the reverse of the nickel for decades, but in 2007, there was a striking new error that would catch the eye of numismatists. The error was related to the full steps feature, the 5 steps that should be clearly visible at the base of Monticello on the coin. For most 2007 nickels, the steps were only partially visible, a minor detail that didn't stand out to most people. However, a small number of coins were struck in such a way that the steps were nearly perfect, clear and well-defined, with full visibility of all 5 steps. This small yet significant feature marked the coin as a rare and valuable specimen. In the world of coin collecting, the presence of full steps is highly prized. When a coin is struck properly, these steps should be visible in their entirety. However, achieving perfect clarity is rare, as the minting process can often result in slight imperfections. A nickel with a full steps variety from 2007 was thus considered a rare find, a coin that was much more than just a simple 5-cent piece. But how rare was it? Well, let's fast forward a bit. It wasn't long before collectors started to take notice of the 2007 full steps nickel. In fact, certain coin enthusiasts began searching through rolls of nickels, inspecting them one by one, hoping to find the elusive full steps variety. As demand grew, so did the coin's value. What was once a coin worth only 5 cents had suddenly turned into something much more valuable. A hidden treasure just waiting to be discovered. As the years went by, the prices for these full steps varieties began to climb. Coins that had been marked by near-perfect strikes, with the full steps visible and detailed, became increasingly rare and thus more valuable. In some cases, these coins were selling for hundreds or even thousands of dollars, depending on their condition. But perhaps the most shocking discovery came in 2016. A particularly rare 2007 full steps nickel, in nearly flawless condition, sold at auction for a jaw-dropping $43,000. Yes, you heard that right. A 5-cent coin that had been casually used in change, passed from person to person, suddenly fetched a price that would rival the cost of a brand new car. The value was based on a combination of factors: perfectly defined steps, the overall quality of the coin, and the rarity of such an immaculate specimen. This sale was a turning point. It confirmed that the 2007 full steps nickel was not just a curiosity, but a genuine treasure in the world of numismatics. To think that something as simple as a 5-cent coin could become so valuable is a testament to the fascinating and unpredictable nature of coin collecting. For many collectors, the allure of discovering such a rare coin was more than just about the monetary value. It was about the thrill of the hunt, the joy of uncovering something special in a world that often overlooks the small details. But how did a simple mistake, like a slight variation in the minting process, lead to such an impressive price tag? It all comes down to rarity and the unique appeal of coins with imperfections. In the case of the 2007 full steps nickel, the coin's allure wasn't just about the design or the history behind it. It was about the fact that something so ordinary could become extraordinary through a stroke of chance. The minting process that resulted in the error created something rare, and in the world of collectors, rarity equals value. Now, it's important to remember that not every 2007 nickel is worth $43,000. In fact, most 2007 nickels, whether or not they have full steps, are still worth just 5 cents. But for those lucky enough to find a well-preserved full steps variety, they hold a coin with a story, a history, and a value that's far beyond the ordinary. So what does this mean for you, the everyday person with a jar of loose change? Well, it's a reminder to take a second look at your coins. While the majority of them are unlikely to be worth anything beyond face value, the world of numismatics is full of surprises. The next time you come across a 2007 nickel, consider examining it a little closer. Could it be a rare full steps variety hiding in plain sight just waiting to be discovered? And there you have it, the story of the 2007 USA 5-cent coin. A simple, humble nickel that, through a small error in its minting, became an extraordinary collector's item worth up to $43,000. It's a reminder that sometimes the most remarkable things are the ones we least expect. So, keep an eye on your change, because in the world of coins, you never know what hidden treasures you might find. Top 4. If you've ever casually dropped a nickel into a vending machine or received one as change at a store, you might not think much about it. After all, it's just a 5-cent coin, right? But what if I told you that one specific 2015 USA 5-cent coin is worth a lot more than 5 cents? A coin worth $24,000? You'd probably think I'm joking, but I assure you, there's more to this seemingly ordinary nickel than meets the eye. Today, we're going to dive into the fascinating history, design, and surprising value of the 2015 USA 5-cent coin. To understand why this coin is so special, let's take a step back and explore the historical context surrounding the 2015 nickel. The U.S. Mint has been producing nickels for well over a century, and they've been through a variety of designs and changes. By 2015, the classic Jefferson nickel had been in circulation for more than 75 years, but it's worth noting that each year, new coins were minted with slight variations, sometimes due to errors or due to special designs released in celebration of national milestones. The 2015 nickel is part of this rich tradition, and its place in U.S. coin history goes beyond its basic function as pocket change. Let's talk about the design of the 2015 nickel. Like all Jefferson nickels, the obverse front of the 2015 nickel features the portrait of Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States. This design was originally created by artist Felix Schlag and has been used continuously since 1938. Jefferson is depicted in a side profile, looking dignified and calm as he stares out into history. His portrait is framed by the words "Liberty" and the year 2015 at the top. Below Jefferson's portrait, you'll find the familiar inscription "In God We Trust," a feature that has remained on American coins for decades. While this side of the coin remains largely unchanged, it's the reverse side that sets the 2015 nickel apart. For decades, the reverse of the Jefferson nickel has featured a depiction of Monticello, Jefferson's iconic Virginia estate, where he lived for much of his life. This reverse design was introduced in 1938 and remained the same until 2004, when the U.S. Mint decided to revamp the nickel in celebration of the Lewis and Clark expedition. In 2004, the Mint issued a series of nickels with a new reverse design to commemorate the bicentennial of that historic expedition. This change marked the beginning of a new chapter in nickel designs. In 2005, the reverse featured a depiction of the keelboat used by Lewis and Clark on their journey. From that moment on, the reverse of the nickel began to evolve in response to historical themes and significant moments in American history. In 2015, the reverse design of the nickel returned to its traditional Monticello image, but with a few modern touches. The Monticello depicted on the reverse of the 2015 nickel is still based on the original design, but with some subtle changes that make it more detailed. The building is shown in a slightly different angle, and the minting process ensured that the details of the structure were more pronounced than in earlier versions. This gave the 2015 nickel a slightly fresher look while maintaining the historical connection to Jefferson's home. Many numismatists and collectors admire this version of the nickel for its clean design, which represents a return to tradition while incorporating advancements in coinage technology. The minting of the 2015 nickel took place across several U.S. mint facilities, including the Philadelphia Mint and the Denver Mint. Like most other modern U.S. coins, the 2015 nickel is made of a combination of copper and nickel. Specifically, it's composed of 75% copper and 25% nickel. It weighs 5 grams and has a diameter of 21.2 millimeters. This composition and size were consistent with prior versions of the nickel, ensuring that the 2015 coin had the same weight and feel as earlier designs. While the minting process for the 2015 nickel followed the typical protocol for U.S. coins, there were still some subtle variations that piqued the interest of collectors. Now, let's explore the collector appeal of the 2015 nickel. For most people, a nickel is just a nickel, nothing more than a small, low-value coin. But for coin collectors, even the most common coins can have hidden value. When it comes to the 2015 nickel, there are several factors that make it especially appealing to collectors. First, there are several types of 2015 nickels that have attracted attention due to minting errors or unique features. One such example is the 2015 nickel with a double die error. A double die error occurs when a coin is struck more than once, causing a slight misalignment in the design. This creates a ghosting effect on the coin, where the image appears doubled. In the case of the 2015 nickel, this error has made certain coins highly sought after, especially by numismatists who specialize in minting mistakes. A double die 2015 nickel can fetch a significantly higher price at auction than a typical nickel. Another factor that contributes to the 2015 nickel's appeal is its place in the broader historical context of U.S. coins. While the 2005 nickel was designed to commemorate the Lewis and Clark expedition, and previous nickels had honored other American achievements, the 2015 nickel is seen by many collectors as a return to tradition. Its design is elegant and timeless, which adds to its appeal as a collectible item. The return to Monticello's image and the crisp, clean detailing of the reverse side speak to a sense of nostalgia for many collectors who appreciate the classic look of the Jefferson Nickel. So, what makes the 2015 nickel worth $24,000? The main reason for this impressive value lies in a rare variation of the coin, a 2015 nickel that was struck with exceptional quality and detail. This particular coin was in pristine condition, showing no signs of wear, scratches, or imperfections. The sharpness of the Monticello design on the reverse and the perfectly defined portrait of Jefferson on the obverse contributed to its value. When such coins are discovered, collectors and investors alike can see the potential for long-term appreciation, and the bidding at auctions can drive the price up to extraordinary amounts. In addition to its flawless condition, there are other factors that drive the price of certain 2015 nickels. Coins that have been preserved in original, uncirculated mint sets or those with unique errors, such as the double die, are extremely rare. These coins can command high prices, sometimes reaching as much as $24,000 at auction. In fact, one particular example of a 2015 nickel with a well-preserved strike and a noticeable error sold for just that amount, sparking excitement in the coin collecting world. So, how do you identify a 2015 nickel that could be worth more than its face value? There are a few things to look for. First, check the condition of the coin. The more pristine the coin, the higher its potential value. Coins that have been stored carefully and remain in uncirculated condition are much more valuable. Next, look for any minting errors or variations, such as the double die error. If you come across a 2015 nickel with these features, it might just be worth checking its value with a professional. In conclusion, the 2015 USA 5-cent coin is far more than just a piece of everyday change. With its historical significance, the return to Monticello's image, and the potential for rare minting errors, it's no surprise that collectors have been drawn to this particular coin. Its impressive value of $24,000 for rare specimens is a reminder that sometimes the most ordinary coins can hold extraordinary worth. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just starting out, the 2015 nickel is one to keep an eye on. And who knows, you might just stumble upon a hidden gem worth much more than you ever imagined. Now, let's take a look at the top 5 most valuable 2016 nickel. When you think of U.S. currency, it's easy to overlook the humble 5-cent coin, better known as the nickel. Often just tossed into pockets, jars, or vending machines, the nickel might seem like just another common piece of change. But what if I told you that one specific 2016 nickel is worth far more than its 5-cent face value? In fact, this nickel could be worth a staggering $24,000. While it may sound unbelievable, this is a reality in the world of coin collecting, where rare variations, historical significance, and minting errors can turn an ordinary coin into a treasure. Let's begin by setting the stage and understanding the context in which the 2016 nickel was released. By 2016, the United States was already deep into the 21st century, and coins like the nickel had been circulating for decades as part of the nation's everyday economy. But even with decades of use, U.S. coins, especially those like the nickel, still carry a rich history of design evolution and changes in production. The 2016 nickel was part of the Jefferson Nickel series, a coin that had been in circulation since 1938. This coin, which has always depicted Thomas Jefferson on the obverse, has undergone several design changes over the years. But by 2016, it remained largely the same in terms of appearance, with a few minor refinements to the design. The image of Jefferson on the front, designed by Felix Schlag in 1938, was still the defining feature of the nickel's obverse, and it was framed by the word liberty and the year 2016, along with In God We Trust. But it's the reverse side of the 2016 nickel that holds the key to its historical significance. Like all nickels, the reverse of the coin had traditionally featured an image of Monticello, Thomas Jefferson's home in Virginia, since 1938. Monticello, a stunning example of neoclassical architecture, was an iconic representation of Jefferson's legacy and a reminder of his impact on the founding of the United States. The image of Monticello on the reverse was also designed by Felix Schlag, and it was used for many decades as a constant on the reverse of the nickel. However, starting with the release of the 2004 Westward Journey nickel series, the U.S. Mint began making changes to the reverse designs of the nickel. This was part of a broader initiative to celebrate American history and milestones in exploration. The 2004 series commemorated the Lewis and Clark expedition, and the 2005 to 2006 series honored the Jefferson Peace Medal. The 2016 nickel, however, brought us back to the familiar Monticello design after several years of special editions and changes. Despite returning to the traditional Monticello reverse, the 2016 nickel still had something special about it. The Mint worked to enhance the level of detail in the depiction of Monticello on the reverse side. While the coin's basic design remained familiar, the Mint used modern technology to give Monticello a clearer, sharper appearance. The result was a beautifully detailed rendition of Jefferson's home, making the coin stand out from earlier versions of the nickel. But beyond the design changes, let's take a deeper look at the minting details behind the 2016 nickel. This coin, like all U.S. coins, was minted by the U.S. Mint, which operates multiple facilities around the country. The primary production facilities for the 2016 nickel were the Philadelphia Mint and the Denver Mint, both of which struck billions of these coins. The standard composition for the 2016 nickel remained consistent with earlier years. It was made of a combination of 75% copper and 25% nickel, giving the coin its familiar metallic weight and feel. The weight of the 2016 nickel is 5 grams, and its diameter measures 21.2 millimeters. These specifications are in line with previous years of the Jefferson Nickel. As with other U.S. coins, the U.S. Mint uses a process called coinage to strike these coins, with each one being stamped with extreme precision to create the sharp details seen on the finished product. Now, let's focus on the world of coin collecting. To the average person, the 2016 nickel might not seem like much more than pocket change. But in the world of numismatics, even the most common coins can hold a wealth of value, especially if they have unique characteristics, rare variations, or minting errors. Coin collectors are always on the lookout for coins that stand out from the rest, and this is where the 2016 nickel becomes interesting. In particular, collectors have become quite intrigued by specific variations of the 2016 nickel. While many 2016 nickels are perfectly ordinary and worth just 5 cents, there are some coins from this year that have become highly sought after by collectors due to their rarity or special features. One of the most notable features collectors look for in 2016 nickels is the quality of the strike, or how well the design is imprinted on the coin. As with all coins, the mint produces nickels in different conditions. Some are perfectly struck with no signs of wear or imperfections, while others might show subtle signs of a misalignment or irregularities. These differences, even if they are small, can have a major impact on a coin's value. For example, some 2016 nickels were struck with an unusual level of clarity and detail, making them especially desirable to collectors. These nickels, in pristine condition, can fetch a considerable amount more than their face value. However, the real excitement comes from the rare variations and errors that collectors have discovered in the 2016 nickels. One of the most significant discoveries made by collectors was the appearance of a particular 2016 nickel that had an error in the striking process. This error led to a misalignment of the design, giving the coin a double die effect, a phenomenon where the design is slightly doubled due to a misalignment during the minting process. These errors are highly coveted by numismatists because they are incredibly rare, and the coins that display them are seen as special pieces of U.S. coinage history. Additionally, there were other slight variations in some of the 2016 nickels that set them apart from the standard production coins. For example, some 2016 nickels showed slight changes in the alignment of the reverse design or even small flaws in the minting process that created unique characteristics. These features can turn an otherwise ordinary nickel into a valuable collector's item. One of these rare specimens, in pristine condition with a minting error, sold for a remarkable $24,000 at auction. This brings us to the big reveal, the 2016 nickel's value. While the vast majority of 2016 nickels are worth just 5 cents, certain rare examples, especially those with minting errors like the double die, can fetch incredibly high prices. A 2016 nickel in perfect condition with a significant minting error can be worth as much as $24,000. In fact, one of these rare coins recently sold at auction for that exact amount, making it one of the most valuable modern nickels ever sold. It's a reminder that in the world of numismatics, rarity and uniqueness can transform an ordinary coin into something worth thousands of dollars. So, how can you spot a 2016 nickel that might be worth more than its face value? There are a few key things to look for. First, check the overall condition of the coin. If you have a 2016 nickel that's in perfect, uncirculated condition, it may be worth more than 5 cents. Second, keep an eye out for any minting errors, especially a double die or any other slight variations in the design. These coins are much rarer and more valuable. In conclusion, the 2016 USA 5-cent coin is far more than just another piece of change. While it may seem like a simple, everyday coin, its potential value in the world of coin collecting cannot be underestimated. Whether it's a rare minting error, an extraordinary strike, or simply its connection to the long history of U.S. coinage, the 2016 nickel is a coin that continues to captivate collectors and investors alike. And who knows, you might just have one of these valuable coins hiding in your pocket change.